Hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger, and I want to talk about something, an experience I had in 84, 85 maybe. It was like 83, my dad died. And I was going out and running around, drinking beer, smoking weed with my buddies. I was in a band. My mom was not happy. So I would come home. I had been out. The door would be open and I would let myself in. I didn't have a key. She would not give me a key for the door. She would confront me in the hallway. She would get out of bed and come out and want to uh, fight and argue with me. And I would end up telling her I would use some profanity, and then end up going into my bedroom and feel guilty, feel terrible about it. One particular night, and I have to stress, I was not drinking to excess or using weed to excess. The weed back then was not powerful weed, and I did have an addiction. I did. I know. I had to have it to function, but I merely like dipped my toes in those waters. I wasn't like, I had friends that were like, they'd smoke bowl after bowl, chasing some high. I would, two or three hits and I was fine, you know? So I'm not coming home stumbling drunk. I would drink a six pack, but I would drink it over the period of 6 hours. And that's, your body absorbs an ounce of alcohol per hour, and that's how much is in a beer. So if you're drinking 6 beers in 6 hours, you're going to be sober an hour. You're going to be completely sober an hour after your last drink, and you're only going to have a maximum of 1 ounce of alcohol in your system in that hour, which is not, it's below the legal driving limit. So I wouldn't have gotten a DUI when I came home. And the alcohol, the legal limit is low in Illinois. It's not high. So my mom was a woman of God, a legit Christian, and I don't blame her. My thing on this is like, we're all different. Like, some people are born, they're really good guitar players, and then you have somebody like me who is not talented. I've really had to work for it, and that's because I wasn't born with a talent. I have a knack for music. I do definitely have that, but I don't have some inborn ability to play the guitar, and there are certain people that do. These guys are born, and usually by the time they're 17, they're shredding on the guitar. They're going up and down the neck, playing real fast. I can't do that. And that has nothing to do with my handicap, with my missing fingers. Even if I had these, I wouldn't be a fast guitar player. And some people are born with a propensity to have faith. Other people are not born with that. So if you have some great relationship with God and you have strong faith, maybe try not to judge people who don't so much. Maybe that would be something for you to think about, that everyone's different and not everyone has this incredible faith in God. And that's not something you just develop on your own. It's something you're born with. My wife's home. I'm making a video. So I come home this particular night. I had been out with my friends, but I wasn't intoxicated. There was nothing exceptional. This time the door is locked. Now my mom had an open door policy. She never locked the door. So I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go. Knock on the door, ring the bell. She comes down and says, I'm not letting you in. And I'm saying, you have to. I'm your son. You didn't warn me. Well, you know better. Boom. She locks the door. So here I am. It's maybe 1:30, 2 in the morning. It's cold. I've got a jean jacket. No hat or gloves. It's cold. So I curl up on a ball on the front porch. And about an hour goes by and I'm trying to fall asleep and I can't. And then I began to hear the most blood-curdling, scariest sounds you could ever imagine coming from the woods. To this day, I do not know what it was that I heard. I have some theories. Coyotes or foxes. But what I heard was a high-pitched, it sounded like demonic echo laughter. There was also shrieking and screaming and attacking. It was like a wild rumpus of demons. And there was a lot of them were laughing. Some of them were getting their asses beat. Some of them were screaming. Some of them were laughing. And there was like between 50 and 100. There was a massive amount of these things. And it was so loud, I could not believe that everybody in the neighborhood didn't wake up and come out and put their porch lights on. Like, I'm the only one hearing this, but it's in the witching hour. It's 3:30. This happened for about an hour, and then it tapered off, and they eventually stopped, and a couple of them would be laughing every once in a while, and then that stopped, and then it got light out. The birds started singing. So this happened in the witching hour. This was at the darkest part of the night, right before it starts. And to this day, I don't know how we lived there that long and never heard it because it was so loud. Like, this must be just like a very rare thing that happens. We knew these people, we called them river folk, river people. They lived on the river. They had a shack. And they had a boat, Tom and Linda. And I'm going to show you some things. Here is where I grew up. This is the house that I was on this porch here on Dugan. You can see this rooftop comes through and then comes down and goes over. Well, that's where I was. That was the overhang for the porch. I was underneath there. So if we zoom out, we see this chunk of woods here. And the sound was emanating. I was here. I was hearing it straight through here, so it would have been like either here they were in here, or here, or here. Maybe they were in here. Maybe they were in here. This is kind of getting too far away though. And this is slope. This is like a slope. This comes down to the low point of the river. Okay. So all the sound was just echoing perfectly wherever this was coming from. Like I say, I think they were on this thin strip of land in between the I&M Canal and the Desplaines River, having a wild rumpus in here, just running around and going nuts and doing this laughing thing, this laughing sound. We had a boat. We used to run day trips on our boat. We would launch from Stony Ford, which is here. So come down under the train bridges, head through, what is that, the 171 bridge, down next to I-55, under the I-55 bridge, and then LaGrange Road and 294 bridges to Willow Springs Road Bridge, Columbia Woods. Here's the island. We used to barbecue, spend the whole day here with a big bonfire. There was a launch here. We could park the car and then go upriver and just go to the island and spend the day there. But our friends, we met these people, these river folk, Tom and Linda. They both really loved to drink beer, and they had a little shack. They lived in this shack here, and they had a boat launch here with a little fishing boat and an electric trolling motor. So we met Tom and Linda on this island and befriended them. And Tom called himself, he had a tattoo that said Virginia Hillbilly. He was a real good old boy, and he loved his beer. And R.I.P. Tom, he was a dear friend of mine. I both told them this story, and they said that's coyotes. Those are the baby coyotes when they go into their first rut and row or whatever they call it, and they have a wild rumpus where they, in the midsummer, they go nuts in midsummer. And that's when this was. I remember it was, I seem to remember that it was cold. So I don't know how it could be midsummer. Maybe I'm wrong about how cold it was. But I have no idea what it was I heard. The only way I could describe it was demonic echo laughter. It was high-pitched, sounded like demonic in origin. It did not sound like an animal, or it was not a human being. This was not human beings. And this was the scariest sound I've ever heard times 1,000. This put the fear of God into me. It scared me so bad. I don't know if my mom was in there praying. If this was a demonic thing, it wouldn't surprise me. I know she prayed for a spirit of confusion and disunity for my band. I had a band when I was a kid. And she was always against me making music. It was the reason why she kicked me out of the house the first time was partially, I believe, because I was dating a girl, and partially because I was playing in a band. And she was right about the girl. That girl was no good. I never should have been involved with that person. But the band, I don't know. I naturally, I feel like I was preordained. I was born to do what I'm doing. I feel pretty strongly about that. But yeah, I sat on that porch on Dugan Avenue and I was tripping balls. I was so scared. I have never, ever heard anything like that or been scared on that level since. It was by far the most terrifying hour of my life. And I only wish that I had some recording. I've gone through YouTube and looked at all of these scary video compilations, scary sounds coming out of the woods, and there's nothing that really sounds like it on here. Maybe the foxes. I think there was one video where I said, that sounds like it, could be it. But it was like one fox or two of them. This was like, it sounded like, I would say 60 of them. And they were all going pedal to the metal, balls out, complete wild rumpus. So, now I'm uploading this, and this video is going to live on my channel. Maybe people can see it. Maybe people can steer me towards some more information. I'm hoping that eventually some poor soul will record, because I wouldn't pity this on anyone to have to hear this. It was that disturbing. It was not like some ow It wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like I wasn't scared because it was snarling or it sounded big. It was demonic. It was demonic, high-pitched echo laughing, along with shrieking, fighting and biting, like a full-on wild rumpus. And it was like there was 60 to 100 of these things, all going off at 110 pedal to the metal for an hour, from like 3:30 in the morning till about 4:15. I have no idea what that was that I witnessed. I would love to know what it was. But if you come at me and say, oh, it's the coyotes or the foxes, give me proof. Give me an audio tape of it, because all of the other tapes that I hear on YouTube, none of them come close to this. None of them come even close. Anyway, you guys, it puts me in an awkward position. If you experience something like this, and you should know by now of me coming on here and just being myself, that I don't generally make up tall tales, and it's not like, hey guys, I need you to hit the ghost. We're going to go to the graveyard and I got a baby monitor we're going to plug in. I'm going to hang out by the dumpster at the funeral parlor trying to talk to the corpse. I'm not one of these ghost hunting fools. I'm not into this stuff. I never talk about anything with UFOs or Bigfoot or anything. This is just something that I experienced. It kind of left a mark on me. You know? After you go through something like that, you'll never feel really safe again. Hearing something like that. And I was banging on the door and ringing the bell over and over and over and over and over and over. And she wouldn't. And at the same turn of the screw, if it was that loud, if I was hearing it that loud, how come she couldn't hear it? How come she couldn't hear it? So I don't know what it was. It could have been a spiritual thing. I don't know. It sounded like it was. It really, really did not sound like. And I know everyone's going to come on and go, oh, it's the coyotes, it's the foxes. Well, I've seen the videos and they don't come close to it. So I would love for someone to post a recording, something that explains what I experienced on that porch on Dugan Avenue in Willow Springs on that midsummer night in 1984. You guys take care of yourselves, hug your pets, and peace.